The Switch 2 is having its showcase next month, and you know what that means? We're getting closer than ever to hearing about the next Mario Kart installment. Within every new game comes a fresh set of items to shake up the chaos, so today, I'm predicting my definitive items list that will make it into the next Mario Kart. Some returning, some brand new, and some that are just crazy enough to work. Buckle up, because I personally think some of these could change the entire series. Let's get straight into it. So let's start at the very beginning. Some Mario Kart items are in every single game, and they're not going anywhere. First up, the mushroom. Simple, effective, and the item that makes this game as complex as it is. This item is the method to pull off most shortcuts in the game, so it's basically impossible to have a game with this little guy out of it. Alongside this, the triple mushrooms would be back too, as we need to keep this shroom addicted players somehow. Then, the green shell, the ultimate skill shot. You either land a perfect snipe, or watch it bounce around aimlessly until it disappears into the void. Either way, it's here to stay. And so is the triple green shell, because more shells means more chaos. And with 24 races, we need as much of that as we can get. Of course, we also have the red shell, which is just this game's built-in aimbot. No skill required, just press the button and watch your opponent suffer. And yes, the triple red shell is here too, because sometimes one shell just isn't personal enough. If Pink Gold Peach is in this game, then I'd add the octuple red shell just to make her burn. I also added the one item that strikes fear into every first place driver, the blue shell. It's been the item to cause PTSD to players everywhere. I just feel bad for the care home workers in 50 years giving us our meds whilst reminding us that the blue shell can't hurt us anymore. Did someone say bananas? No? You could have at least pretended you did. The banana peel is still here, and if you want to block an entire section of the track, the triple banana is back too. And finally, there's the coin. It's been around since Super Mario Kart, and even if it's the least exciting item, it's probably going to stick around, because Nintendo loves reminding us that coins exist after the flop of Mario Bros 2. Which reminds me, we need to quickly talk about my gimmick idea for the next Mario Kart. We all know there'll be 24 races, based on what we've seen in the Switch 2 reveal, and we also know that will be absolute carnage. So one of my ideas is to have a HP system. Fortnite 2 baby, let's go! I think that it would take 2 to 3 hits to spin the racer out, and the rest will just slow you down. The coin would be used to restore HP, adding to its main use. Adding onto the core lineup, we've got the Superstar itself. While this item changes slightly between each game, it still remains the face of Mario Kart items after the mushroom and the blue shell. I can put money on its return. The lightning is the last item I'm keeping out of those in every single game. This would remove 1 HP from every opponent, but would still also shrink everyone, causing chaos as all 23 races try not to get squished. Anyway, that's the core lineup. The unchangeable, the undeniable, the ones that will always be there. But now, let's start getting a little more interesting. First, we've got the Bomb-On to bring the boom! This isn't even the most explosive item in this list. The Bullet Bill from DS and onwards also returns as the item for those with a skill issue. It is risen to have a similar legacy to that of the star, so its return is inevitable. Just like my upload schedule, which is a great reason to subscribe. I do in-depth videos on Mario Kart topics, so if that kind of thing tickles your pickle, make sure to subscribe. Hopping a little further into future entries, the Fire Flower is still here, but this time, all its fireballs launch at once, turning the track into a blazing war zone and making the items a little more fun to use overall. The Horn is back too, as it's probably the best designed item since the original selection. I just wanted to segue into a little section here where I explain my thought on some of the established items that I decided to skip on this time around. The fake item box would not be getting a second chance in my Mario Kart. I personally think this item has a lot of potential, but it's too easy to spot if you know the real item spawns, which only harms the newer players. Alongside this, having 2 non-protection items in one game is a no-go, so I went with a coin instead since it's been given a new fundamental use. However, if you really love the fake item box, don't be too distraught. I brought it back in another form which you'll see later. The blooper is also gone for a similar reason to the fake item box. It only really hinders the newer players, and most people understand the track layouts. It feels like a wasted pull to receive a blooper most of the time. Golden Mushroom? Not on this list. This is one that can fit under my rule of timed items, which is something I don't want in the new game. While it did have somewhat of an iconic status within Mario Kart, I don't think anyone would complain too much if this one got cut. The Boo? With enough items that make you invulnerable with health, invulnerability would be less important. As well as this, with 24 races, stealing another item would be very confusing, as you could vaguely track what you were going to steal when it was only 12. The last cut item worth talking about is the piranha plant. Cool concept, but it fits the timer niche like the golden mushroom, and it just isn't a necessary addition in my opinion. Anyway, back to the real contenders. Firstly, adding the giant banana from Double Dash. It doesn't just trip races, it splits into 3 normal bananas upon being hit, which feels chaotic enough to be added. Next, the Bowser shell, from the game with the same name. Honestly, it would just be fun to throw this giant spiky menace into the middle of the track. It's bigger, it's better, and it really needs to come back. The Peach Heart would be a more tame addition compared to most instances, but I think it could receive a buff here. The Peach Heart usually protects you from a hit, and gives you the item you were hit with, if done in a specific time frame. I would keep those elements the same, but would also make it still a HP from the enemy too, just to add a little bonus through the recently added features. Anyways, from Wii, we have the Mega Mushroom. It's been gone for a while, but imagine bringing it back with 23 opponents. You'd feel like a man among babies. The Feather from 8 and Super Mario Kart would return, but actually hear me out on this one instead of instantly commenting and disliking. This item would now just let you glide at the peak of your jump, which means you're not just using it for a small booster to dodge things, you can also travel across large pits and access new shortcuts that would previously be inaccessible. The Poison Mushroom would return too, and yes, I said return. This was actually an item in Super Mario Kart which only the NPC players could use. It would now function slightly differently. The original item would allow you to throw it and shrink anyone who ran into it, and while that would be the same, it would look very similar to a regular mushroom. This is my idea for a fake item box replacement. I also want this item to be able to be used as protection, but only if you throw it into the item. If the poison mushroom is dragged behind you when you're hit, you'll shrink yourself. The Ice Flower is my final returning item, as it's from Mario Kart Tour, but it could be considered as new. It would act like a slightly better Fire Flower, where anyone in its path are slowed down, sliding in ice for a few seconds, unless they crash into something else, which would smash the ice and free them again. Now, let's talk about those items which would be fully new. Firstly, the Drill Mushroom from Mario Wonder would be added, and would let you go underground for around 5 seconds, avoiding effects from terrain, and being completely immune to attacks while tunneling. It's stealthy, it's strategic, and it opens up brand new shortcut possibilities. I know everyone's been talking about Cappy being an item, but controlling another racer would be absurdly broken, and it doesn't even make sense when you consider what are you going to be doing. I have a better idea for an Odyssey themed item, the Rocket Flower. This would give you a speed boost, but the number of flowers you receive would be random from 1 to 3. Get a 1, small boost. Roll a 3, the effect is not running out anytime soon. This would also be found around some of the new tracks this game would have to offer, so you could get these boosts naturally too. Now, the next item may just be my wildest one in the whole list, and it's not even a new item in the sense it offers a new mechanic, but rather it's an expansion to a pre-existing item. I present the Triple Bomb. Now, this item would just be so much fun with 24 races, okay? You just get in the middle of the pack and see the dude next to you pull out 3 spinning bombs and proceeds to detonate half the races. I admit, it probably would frustrate competitive players, but if you're taking Mario Kart that seriously, maybe you should just go outside. Another new item I had in mind was the Fuzzy. This little guy would be dropped like a shell and would wander and fodder carts in that area. If he attached to your cart, it would slow you down until you shake it off by hopping. It would be part item, part minigame, and part annoying little gremlin that ruins your race. Then, we have the P-Switch. This one is pretty interesting, probably my best idea of the video. When activated, every coin on the track turns into a block and vice versa for around 7 to 10 seconds. That means that everyone's coins are temporarily replaced by dead weight, reducing their speed. The coins on the track would also create more obstacles to dodge too. There would be a few workarounds, such as the Mega Mushroom giving you immunity and the ability to break blocks, and the Mushroom would also let you break blocks too. Personally, I think this one could be a total game changer. Now, there's only one item left, the X item. Yes, that's it! I'm adding a fucking Twitter! Elon Musk has paid to collab with Mario Kart, and now we have Wario tweeting about the non-existent WarioWare game, and Cybertrucks galore. I'm obviously joking, and this would just be an item with 10 items, like the 7 or 8 that we previously had. And if you think it should be the 9 or whatever, just come fight me, bruh. We don't need to spend more time arguing on the fucking game name over the concepts this game could have. It could be the Mario Kart 2 since it's on the Switch 2 for all we bloody know. Anyway, there you have it. 30 items that could make Mario Kart more chaotic, more strategic, and more fun than ever. Do you agree with my predictions? Are there any items I missed? Are you upset because I didn't include the most stupid item concept to date that you are 1000% sure will be added? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know your ideas for the next game. If we hit 1k subscribers, I will do a face reveal. Goodbye.